Maggie is here.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening. Welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Ben Boxer, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Fairfax County Park Authority. I'd like to welcome you tonight to our virtual meeting as we listen to your feedback on the Park Authority's proposed fee adjustments for 2023. This is a staff-led public meeting. We do have some Park Authority board members in attendance and may potentially have additional elected or appointed officials join us throughout the evening. With that said, the purpose of this meeting is to hear from you. Any officials attending with us tonight will simply be listening to your input. There will be no votes or action taken tonight on any part of the fee proposal. This meeting is being conducted electronically through dedicated video and audio conferencing via Zoom. Tonight's meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be made available online within the next day or so. In just a few minutes, we will hear some opening remarks from Ken Quincy, the Providence District Representative on the Park Authority Board. Mr. Quincy also serves as chairman of the board's Budget with Funding Policy and Bond Committee. He will be followed by a brief presentation by Josh Coleman, who is our business office branch manager. After his remarks, we will hear from you, and I'll explain how you can participate at that time. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to recognize several of our attendees this evening. We are very pleased to welcome Ken Quincy, our Providence District Board member, Maggie Godbold, who is also our Sully District representative. We also have with us tonight our Executive Director of the Park Authority, Jay Cole, Amy Vosper, our Deputy Director. We have Mike Peter, our Director of Business Administration. We have Cindy Walsh, Director of Park Services. Laura Grape, Director of Resource Management Division. Ryan Carmen, our Director of Golf Operations. And we're also joined by many others of our Park Authority staff who are eager to hear your input on the proposed fees for 2023. Welcome, all of you. Thank you for being with us. To kick things off, I'd like to introduce Ken Quincy for some brief opening remarks. Mr. Quincy, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Ben. Welcome to this evening's public meeting on the proposed fee schedule for 2023. This is an annual exercise in which we evaluate the Park Authority's fees to ensure that we are assessing fees that are affordable, equitable, and that provide its revenues that we need to fund our park system services and programs. This proposal has been prepared after a thorough analysis by our great staff and in accordance with the goals of minimizing costs and responsibly administrating the resources in which we are responsible for. I'd like to personally thank our Park Authority staff for their great work in that regard and appreciate their presence here tonight. Tonight is about hearing your feedback and comments. We're glad you took the time to join us, and we appreciate your continued support and engagement in providing the best park system in the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. We really appreciate you being with us this evening and for those remarks. At this point, we'll turn the time over to Josh Coleman, our business office branch manager, for a brief presentation regarding the fee proposal process. Josh, the time is now yours.
Good evening, everyone. As my screen comes up here. Can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Coleman, Business Office Branch Manager. I'm just going to do a couple quick slides here just as an overview of the process and additional information on where we can hear comments from you as this comment period moves forward. First, just a quick review of this annual fee process. Wanted to start with, background. Really, the first step every year in our fee process is to continually look at cost management, ways that we can keep our costs down and have that be the first step we take prior to looking at increasing fees. After that, we really look at, as part of an annual review by our staff that runs August through November, where we take a deep dive at all of our fee areas, identify potential fees for adjustment, look at how expenses have changed or shifted over the last year, and again, identify those areas that we think are in need of review and potential adjustment as we look to the next year. From there, we go to the Park Authority Board with an action to advertise those proposed fee adjustments. So that occurred in December. I encourage those of you who are tuned in to go back and review that meeting as well, which is posted online. We cover in more detail some of the work that goes into the fee process, the work that goes into evaluating our expenses and the effect on the revenue needs that we have from all of our lines of business. Right now, we're in the middle of the 30-day public comment period. We take comment in meetings like this, but also via email or letter. I'll give you some details on that in a moment, and that runs through the beginning of February. After that period closes, we'll compile all the comments and feedback that we receive and bring that to the Park Authority Board for review and potential action on the fee proposal in March. And that's followed by any new fee adjustments taking effect in April. I want to reference that again, we do have multiple ways that we can hear comment from you. We have a fee meeting page that is available on our website. I encourage you to visit it. You can find meetings that have been held regarding the fee process. You can find our actual proposed 2023 fee package. You can find a detailed FAQ on what goes into some of the fees and how different areas are affected by, rising expenses and other things that have an impact on our revenue fund and our Park Authority system. So I encourage you to go to the fee meeting website and see all the available resources. This also details how you can make comment electronically, which we also encourage you to do. And lastly, just as a brief reminder, again, there's many ways to submit comment by email with the parkmail@fairfaxcounty.gov address here, by letter with the address available here, and comments we do need by February 2nd. That is the close of the public comment period. And anything that we receive is included in the package that goes to the Park Authority Board. Any comments in full are submitted to the Park Authority Board for them to thoroughly review feedback from you and incorporate that into any decision to approve fees moving forward. That's the basic presentation I had for you tonight. Again, I encourage you to visit our website and look at the available resources. And we are anxious to hear from you tonight on your feedback and comments relating to the proposed fee schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. We appreciate your sharing with us more about the processes that go into these annual evaluations and the considerations made in the preparation of the fee proposal for us today. Now it's time to hear from our residents. The Park Authority's board has made it very clear that public engagement on the top of park fees provides the board and staff with useful context and a much greater understanding of any community concerns. We welcome your comments and feedback on the fee proposal, which was released earlier this month. Please keep in mind that this is a public hearing, and the purpose of this meeting is to gather public input. Staff and board members will not be responding to questions. If you do have questions, you can submit them in writing to us at parkmail@fairfaxcounty.gov. I'll go ahead and add that to the chat so that you have that address. We'll be happy to receive your comments to that email address and ensure that you have responses provided directly. So now I'd like to take just a few moments to show you how you can participate if you'd wish to make comment this evening. First, if you would like to participate on the Zoom platform in person, we're going to ask you to raise your hand. And the way you do that is by tapping the reactions button at the bottom of the Zoom window. and click Raise Hand. I'll be calling individuals by name and will unmute you so you can share your thoughts with us. If you'd rather type your comments in the chat box, you are certainly welcome to do so, and I'll be glad to read those comments aloud. Finally, you can also participate by calling us on the telephone at 602-333-0022 and entering the code 411406. After we've taken comments from our Zoom participants and from the chat, we'll identify callers by their phone numbers one by one and ask if they would like to speak. If so, you may do so. If not, simply say no. For all of our speakers this evening, please begin by stating your name, as this is a matter of record. We'd also ask you to identify whether you're speaking on behalf of yourself or if you are representing an organization. Individual speakers may speak for 3 minutes. Organizations may speak for up to 5 minutes. We'll be keeping time, and I'll provide a 30-second warning that your time is winding up. With that said, if you desire to speak, we invite you to indicate that desire at this time. As we are waiting for folks, if they would like to speak, I do have a few public service announcements previously prepared, just to be sure that we're conveying the information to you in case you have not had the opportunity to review the proposed fees for 2023. A detailed proposal is available online, along with a series of frequently asked questions that will be helpful. And I'm actually going to put the website in the chat box for you. It's www.fairfaxcounty.gov/parks/fee meeting. And that website is where we will be posting additional information. A copy of tonight's meeting will be posted there, the presentation slides, and so forth. We do have one speaker with their hand up. Lydia Lawrence, could you please begin with your name, who you represent, if it's yourself or a group, and then the floor will be yours.
Thank you, Ben. My name is Lydia Lawrence, and I am a Drainsville district resident representing myself. I wanted to comment on this fee structure proposal. Last year during the budget season, many advocates gathered together, recognizing the inequitable structure of funding for our park authority and encouraging our board of supervisors to work towards a model that is more equitable for every resident in Fairfax County. Over the course of the last year, I have gladly watched leaders of the Park Authority present to the Board of Supervisors on what the Park Authority is doing to work towards equity with its equity study, and have been very pleased to see those responses by the Board of Supervisors. And watching the December meeting regarding these fee structures, a lot of what was brought up was that these fee structures were made based on the economic impact for the Park Authority, which I understand we're not going to get from inequity to completely non-fee structure based in 1 year. That's not possible. But I would hope that the Park Authority would have evaluated the equity impacts of these fees. Specifically, the 3 items that I was concerned over were the park shelter rental fee increases. I do not have data myself. I'm sure the Park Authority does, but anecdotally, I see a lot of park shelters being used by our Fairfax County residents of color. And I would worry that the fee increases may negatively impact our residents, our families who are using those. I don't know what the data shows on gymnasium rentals, but if those are options that could possibly impact our residents of color in an inequitable way, And then also community gardens. Some of our districts struggle with access to healthy food, and I would hope that in our community gardens owned by the Park Authority that we could work towards a sustainable model that could possibly address this concern for those vulnerable residents versus increasing those fees. And finally, I would hope that the Park Authority has evaluated how these fee increases may change depending on the district and the area of Fairfax County where we are increasing those fees. I recognize it may not be the same across the board when looking at equity as well as economics. So those are my statements. I thank you for addressing that and looking into it.
Thank you very much, Lydia. We really appreciate you taking the time to share those comments on the park shelter rentals, gymnasium rentals, community gardens, and our fee structure as it relates to the different districts. We really appreciate that feedback and that input, and we'll be reviewing that as a matter of this record. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and sharing that. Again, for those of you who may have joined us, if you would like to speak, we do have another speaker, Mr. Xander Pellegrino. I hope I got that name right. If you could unmute, we could unmute you, and you can start with your name and whether you're representing yourself or an organization, and be free to begin.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Xander Pellegrino. I live here in Fair Lakes. I'm an organizer and I'm speaking as an individual here tonight for these comments. I really want to echo everything that Lydia said, particularly when I watched the December Authority Board meeting. What really stood out to me was how the Park Authority and our county infrastructure and staff have really been given the tools to do sophisticated economic analysis. When I heard the feedback and the presentation, what I heard were Park Authority staff describing how we needed to figure out what our expenses are going to be, how much money we'll raise, what the taxes are going to be for the whole county, and then integrate all of that, and then think about how many fees we're going to need to raise and which activities are actually going to be profitable. And so it sounds like we really do have the tools to do the analysis to make an economic decision. And I would really just wonder and push for us having the same amount of commitment and consideration to the equity impacts of our decisions. Like, from what I heard, it seems like the raising the fees on the golf courses, and particularly with the shelter rentals and some of these other activities, were chosen because they're going to be profitable throughout the year, and we won't be surprised if people all of a sudden stop golfing. And all of that makes sense with the world we live in. And I would wonder what other tools we need to think through how we make a new system that is more equitable. And as we work towards getting more dedicated funding from the county, how we can think through what we do with the money we do have. I would love some more, just more tools and thoughts about how we spend these funds. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate your participation and your feelings in equity and your comments on equity. It's certainly an area of focus for us and has been and will continue to be. We thank you very much. We'll just give a few more minutes here, see if we have any other speakers. Just if I could really quick, I'll add a couple other notes here, just so this group is aware. The fee adjustments that have been proposed are expected to be considered by the Park Authority Board at their March 22nd meeting. And any fees approved at that meeting are expected to take effect on April 1st of this year. As we continue to look. All right, we have another speaker. Sissy, did you raise your hand?
I couldn't find the raise my hand. So I just typed it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Cynthia Yona, and I live in Chantilly, Virginia, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself. I sent a very detailed email to the email address advertised, the parks mail at fairfaxcounty.gov last night, detailing my concerns. My concern is in regards to the impact of these fees going up to senior citizens, specifically folks who use the rec centers, specifically Cub Run Rec Center, the water aerobics classes that take place there twice a week, very, very popular with seniors. So that is what I wanted to bring up. The two issues that I brought up in my email, and I hope you all get a chance to read it, is, or maybe ideas, is the age that Fairfax County uses to categorize someone as a senior citizen compared to other counties. Fairfax County uses 65 years of age to categorize someone as a senior citizen, where the District of Columbia, Arlington, Alexandria, and Loudoun counties rec centers use 55 years of age, and Prince William County uses 60 years of age. So that is one thing that I wanted to bring up. Why is that happening, and can it be considered as a change? Number one. And my other, the other concern that I had was cost of these facilities compared to other counties. The same services that specifically Cub Run Rec Center, the same fees that they charge for the same services compared to Loudoun County, compared to a facility such as the Manassas-based George Mason Aquatic and Fitness Center, is more than double in comparison. So I think that needs to be reviewed, and I would hope that somebody can do that, because we need to, I believe, promote more folks that are getting into that age, where they become seniors, to have the ability to pay for these fees, and keep them moving, because as we all become seniors, we have more health problems. And I don't believe our county particularly, our very rich, very rich county does enough for seniors.
Sissy, if I could, you've reached your 3 minutes. If you want to just sum up your last thought. No, not at all. If you'd like to sum up your last thought.
That's what I wanted to bring up. I have I repeat, I sent a very detailed email that I hope can be reviewed by you folks and move forward with your package. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing up this issue. We are very proud of our facilities and the participation we get among our older residents in the county. I was able to see many of them at our park at Burke Lake just over the long weekend, and it was just so fun seeing so many residents of all ages participating and engaging. It was a great experience. So thank you for being here tonight and advocating for that.
Thank you.
Do we have any other speakers who would like to speak? I don't see any comments in the chat. I don't have any telephone numbers listed on our board. If there's no other speakers, what we'd like to do is perhaps turn the time over to Jay Cole, our executive director, who can offer some closing remarks before we end the meeting this evening. Jay, the time is yours.
Thanks. You're going to start my timer because I don't know if I can do 3 minutes.
It's running, Jay. No.
So I definitely want to thank everybody who came out today. We've done these and had nobody come out and speak, and we've done these and we've had a lot of people come out and speak. So I really do appreciate taking time out of your personal time to sit here and give us your thoughts on fees. So I just wanted to start off by saying nobody likes to increase fees. Nobody in this call likes to increase fees. And so we really do appreciate everything that you guys, have said. We are working very hard to turn a ocean liner in a bathtub. The reality is we're slightly off right now with a lot of the work that we're doing with the budget for next year. This is fees that impact our budget, currently, and the way that our revenue fund currently is, which we are working to try to dismantle and change around a little bit, is that this is a self-sufficient fund. And what that means is there's no parachute, there's no tax dollars that goes into any of the items that are mentioned here. It's completely so it has to be 100% supported by fees. It's a Herculean task. I really appreciate people on this call who have advocated for us to sort of break out of that mold a little bit, so that hopefully we are having fee reduction public meetings. I don't know if anybody would come to those, but we'll have them anyway, just to tell Josh what a great job he's doing. I'd like to pick on him. But I just wanted to make that very clear. It is the hallmark of what we're doing, equity, and we are spending a yeoman's amount of work trying to figure this thing out that was created for us all in the 60s and 70s. So just wanted to say that, and thank you so much for coming out, everyone.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Jay, for those remarks. And thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. Hearing and seeing no further desired comments, I'd like to just close with a couple of thoughts for you. This public record will remain open through February 2nd to any and all additional comments and feedback on this proposal. So if you shared a thought tonight and you come up with something later, please, the email is still available. We'd love to get your additional comments in addition to your thoughtful remarks this evening. Again, you can email them to us at Fairfax County, or I'm sorry, at parkmail@fairfaxcounty.gov. The email address is in the chat. Also in the chat is our website, where you'll be able to find a recording of this meeting and any additional information that as we go through the process. It is www.fairfaxcounty.gov/parks/fee meeting. So at this point, given there's no further interest or no further desired speakers, we'll go ahead and adjourn our meeting. Again, remind you that the meeting will be open through February 2nd, or the record will be open through February 2nd. And we thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we wish you a very pleasant evening. Good night.